Yes, we're live. Okay, so today we are going to talk about factoring quadratic trinomials. Now, just as a preface, let's think about what we have learned so far. We have learned how to use the quadratic formula, right? X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We know how to use that to find what? What does the quadratic formula tell you, Clayton?
The x and y points on the
on the x-axis, right? Where that parabola crosses the x-axis. That's what the quadratic formula tells you. Now, there is another way of finding that out that is quicker and easier, oftentimes.
Cool.
And it depends. If a quadratic trinomial can be factored, then yes, you can do it without using the quadratic formula. And you can do it within seconds instead of within minutes, right? And so what I'm going to talk about today is turning a quadratic expression, trinomial, into a factored form, okay? So first of all, I'm going to do what you did for homework last night. We're going to start from factored form and multiply it out using FOIL. And then we're going to go backwards. And we're going to see how to do it, okay? So, if I did, let's say I had x plus 2 times x plus 3, I guess. I don't care, that's fine.
Oh wait, so we're using FOIL again?
I'm going to use FOIL for a second. Because I'm going to I'm going to turn this, by multiplying it, I'm going to turn it into a quadratic trinomial. And then I'm going to take that same problem, that same quadratic trinomial, and over here, I'm going to try to go backwards to get this again. And I'm going to show you how, okay? It's sometimes helpful to use one that you can do both ways, right? So let's do that. So now we got a FOIL. First, what's that going to be?
X squared.
X, the first times the first, that's x squared. So that's x squared.
Plus
Now, outside,
plus inside.
Plus 3x.
okay, plus 3x, plus inside,
Plus 2x.
plus 2x, plus last,
5.
plus
5.
6.
No?
6, Clayton.
Wait, it's...
You multiply.
Oh, you multiply.
8.
all right, plus Tiana, you may be excused. All right, so now, am I done?
4 and 8 halves. No, you have to combine the two middle terms.
Elizabeth.
So then you make an x squared plus 5x plus 6.
Right, because those are like terms, aren't they? So I can do x squared plus 5x plus 6. Okay.
It would be easier
so,
if you just did 2x plus 3x, like in your head, outside plus inside.
right. As you get better at these and more comfortable with them, this is what you'll do. Remember that little boom, boom, outside plus inside with your fingers that I told you that 80% of my students don't use and should? Right? Look at this. 3x plus 2x is
5x.
5x.
So then you just
So
have
you
x
could
squared.
bypass this. You could go right to this, right? You know? All right. So, but it doesn't matter. Doing it this way is fine. And then just going to this from there. It's fine. All right. So now this is what we got. This now we're going to try to factor. Do you see how this is in factored form? You understand a factor of a number. A factor of, what are factors of 4? 2 and 2, 1 and 4, right? Now, what about negative 2 and negative 2? Is that a factor of 4?
Yes.
Yeah, actually it is. What about negative 1 and negative 4? Are those factors of 4?
Yes.
Yeah, because negative 1 times negative 4 is positive 4. Right? So you have more options than you usually think of, because we tend in real life we don't think negative numbers, but negative numbers are also an option. Okay, so got to keep that in mind. So I'm going to rewrite this now. We've got x squared plus 5x plus 6. This stuff is so cool, you guys. I love doing this. I absolutely love this.
So you take factors of 6 that go into 5.
Almost. You take factors of 6. So notice, right? Those last two are factors of 6. So in order to
They
get
add
a
up to
6,
5.
those last two numbers have to be
Factors of 6 that add up to 5.
yes. Look at that. Look at this for a second. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. But 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So this is what you're looking for. Look for
Factors of C that add up to B.
factors of C. I'm going to say C. Remember, like ax squared plus bx plus c? It's that last number. You follow me when I say that? Am I losing anybody on that? Factors of C that add to equal b. Does that make sense? Factors of C that add up to equal b. Okay? So let's think about it. Factors of 6. There's 6 times 1. All right, what is 6 plus 1? 7. Oh, that's not it, right? All right, so let's try another one. Let's see. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5.
Whoa.
Oh, but wait, what about this, though? Negative 2 times negative 3 is equal to 5. Is equal to 6 as well.
But they added
But that adds up
negative
to
5.
negative 5. That's interesting. Keep that in mind, because we'll be getting there soon.
When we get to negative, if you have a negative
Right.
C.
So which
Wait,
one of
2
these?
times 3 is 5?
Yeah, 2 times 3 is 5.
And when you have a
It's
negative
supposed to
B,
be 6, isn't it?
when you have a
2
negative,
times
Oh.
3 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5.
Oh.
2 times
When
3
you
is
have a
6.
negative-
2 plus 3 is 5.
when you have a negative B, then both the numbers will be negative. But when you have a negative C, one of the numbers will be negative.
Good job, dude. Man, awesome thinking. That's great. All right, so once we figure out that it's going to be 2 and 3,
But negative 2 times negative 3 isn't negative 5. Because
negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. And then if we add them,
oh, then that
they become negative 5. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to think of it both ways now, right? So you're going to be multiply two numbers that multiply to get 6 or C, and then but add together to get B, right? Make sense? So we found that it's 2 and 3. So all you do is this: you put x. I set up my binomial with my 2 sets of parentheses. Okay. Taking notes for sure. Okay. I set that up, and then I have a 2 and a 3. I do plus 2, plus 3. Very easy, right? And now I check it, right? Remember that 80% thing that nobody does? Right? I'm going to do my outsides plus my insides. Here we go. 3x plus 2x is 5x. Yes! 2 times 3 is 6. Yes, we're there. All right, now we're try few. Okay, now that you know it.
Woo!
Let's get rid of this and we'll just start doing a
Put
few.
15 up on the board.
All right, how about this? X squared plus 8x plus 15. I'm looking for factors of 15. This is what I usually do when I do this in real life. I mean, sometimes I do them in my head very quickly, but when they're not as quick and easy, because sometimes the numbers are bigger, I write the last number C here and I go like this. Okay, 1 times 15, or 3 times 5, or that's about it. Yes,
It's 3
Elizabeth.
times 5, because 3 plus 5 is 8, and 3 times 5 is 15.
3 times 5 is 15, 3 plus 5 is 8. That's it. So all I do is x plus 3 times x plus 5. Now I do my outside plus inside. 5x plus 3x is 8x. Yes! That's it. Piece of cake, right? So far? You getting it? All right, let's try. Let's do a
I have a
ton.
feeling we're gonna forget this by tonight.
I do too. But maybe not, because we're going to do a bunch of them. Okay.
Don't forget it.
Then write it in your notes, Kate, and that's it there, Beth.
Okay. Factors of 8. Let's see. We've got 8 times 1. We've got 2 times 4.
That's it.
Yeah.
2 times 4.
2 times 4.
It's 4
That
plus
it?
2 is 6, and then you get
2
the
times 4 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. There you go. So I do x plus 2 times x plus 4. Right? You with me?
Cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I can do a lot of it in my head.
Now, the other option, if you forget this, is you can set it equal to 0, right? And you can do the x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and substitute all that in. But do you see how much faster it is if you know this shortcut?
Wow.
Like, it's so much faster. We just, in seconds, we got the answer to this. It would take us a couple minutes to get the answer to this way. You see what I mean?
Wait,
The difference is, though, and this is really important to understand.
That gives you the x and
So
this-
that doesn't.
Well,
give
you're
it
right.
directly.
Because yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. But
Oh!
you're right.
Well, doesn't it?
But this will always work. The quadratic formula always works. This little trick, the
Only
shortcut
works
that I'm giving
sometimes.
you, only works if it's factorable. And that's a big if.
It's what?
If it's factorable. Right? Yes.
So then would the two
X
spots on
plus
x-axis
y.
be 2 and 4 for that one?
I'm just gonna state it.
Almost.
I'm confused.
You're- all right,
When you
so
find that, how do
yeah.
you find the
right.
two
Great
numbers
question.
that you get from
Okay,
the quadratic?
great question. Notice, in order to do the quadratic formula, I had to make it equal to 0, right? All right, in order to find the places where it crosses the x-axis, I have to set it equal to 0. This is a totally different lecture, okay? This is just like a little advertisement about the future lecture, okay? But I'll tell you really quickly.
Is this going to be the homework then?
Not this, just
Not finding
factoring.
the x
Not finding the
intercept,
x, not finding the x-intercepts. It's just factoring, okay? But the x-intercepts would be -2 and -4.
Because
And I'll explain it in
you
my...
minus them.
Because think about it.
Yeah, because that is equal to 0.
The
So
2
then
and
Oh, look.
-2?
I'll just show you. For those who want to see this, watch this.
you subtract them from one side
Okay,
and set it
so-
equal to 0.
I want to solve for x, right?
Yeah.
The beauty of having something factored, Gabe, this is really like the kind of thing that you would be asking about. You'd actually be really interested in this if you were paying attention. All right, so listen, okay? Otherwise, move over here, okay? But there is a rule that says if a times b equals 0, either a equals 0 or b equals 0. It has to. There's no way to get something to equal 0 and you're by multiplying two numbers together unless one of them is 0. You can't do 0.0000001 times 0.0000000000001. It's still going to be a tiny number, but it's still not going to be 0, right? One of them has to be 0. So this is my A and this is my B. If this times this equals 0, then either this has to equal 0 or this has to equal 0. That's the only way they could equal 0.
So the x is
So
negative
I could write them
2.
two different. I could do this. I could do x plus 2 equals 0, or x plus 4 equals 0.
So then x
Solve
would
them.
either have to equal -2 or -4 for
Yes,
each
because you
one.
subtract 2, x would equal -2. Subtract 4, x would equal -4. So those,
Okay.
that is actually where it crosses your axis, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to cross here and here. So I know the parabola is going to look probably, since it's x squared, y equals x squared,
Where's your C?
it's probably going to be this, see?
So,
But-
so can you just make those negative? Like can you make
Sort of.
those
We'll get into the nuances of that, like with the real lecture on that, okay? For a lot of you, don't worry about it, right? All I care about right now is not the equals 0. I care about how to factor things, okay?
for the homework?
That's
are
what we're
there gonna
talking
be,
about.
like,
That's what the
negative
homework is.
stuff?
I'm not asking you to find the x-intercepts yet.
So is it going to be like giving us the equation and making us find the like
I'm not giving you an equation, I'm giving you an expression.
Okay.
There's no equal sign, okay? So
Yeah.
all you're doing is factoring an expression.
So we're turning the top one into the bottom one. correct?
Like this to this.
Okay.
That's all we're doing.
So on
That's what the
are we-
homework is.
On homework, are we gonna do? Is there gonna be negative C's and B's?
Yes. Well, not negative C's yet. Negative B's. The negative C's are tomorrow. Okay? So, all right, so let's try a different one. Let's try something different. Let's try x squared. Let me just get rid of this. How about x squared minus 7x plus 8. Wait a minute, that's just not going to work. Sorry. X
Yeah,
squared
that's
minus 9x plus 8. All right,
Oh,
x
so
squared
it's
minus 9x plus 8. So I'm looking at for factors of 8. Let's see. There's 8 times 1. There's 2 times 4. That add up to
8 times 1.
negative 9?
Negative
No.
8 and 1. No, wait.
Ah,
No,
but
no.
in order for this to be negative,
Negative 8 and negative 1 are the factors.
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah.
Let's think about that.
No.
Negative 8
Yes.
times negative 1 is equal to positive 8, right?
Yeah.
Negative times negative is a positive. So that's positive 8. And negative 8 plus negative 1 is negative 9. Yes.
Okay.
Right? So then I do this. I write x minus 8 times x minus 1.
Why is the other way around?
Or, that's a good point. I'm so glad you said that. Because it doesn't matter. 2 times 4 is the same as 4 times 2, right? It doesn't matter. When you're multiplying, it doesn't matter the order. They're called, that's the commutative property of multiplication. You can, a times b is the same as b times a, right? So I could also write this as x minus 1 times x minus 8. It makes no difference which one you put first. Now, let's just look at the signs for a second, okay? Because as you do more of these, you'll start to understand this really, really well. In order for the sign in front of the C to be positive, the signs in front of the numbers have to be the same. In other words, they have to both be positive or both be negative. And then you will always get a positive here. Does that make
If 1
sense?
is negative, then you'll have
Right? Because
negative
positive times
C.
positive is positive. So Gabe, over here, buddy. Right here. Sorry. Positive times positive is positive. Negative times negative is positive, right? So as long as the signs are the same, that's what this tells me. When I see a plus sign here, do you hear me? When I see a plus sign here, it tells me that my numbers are going to be the same sign. So immediately I know it's going to be x minus or x plus x plus. I know that because of that plus sign right there.
When you see the negative 9, you know it's going to be negative.
Ah, exactly, Clayton. When you see a negative there, there's only one way to get a negative, and that's if both of these are negative. If that's a positive, there's no negatives. So it's going to be positive. So get this. This plus sign says they're both the same signs.
But if
This
it's
says
negative,
they're
then
going to be,
the
if there's a
difference.
negative in the B, in front of the B, they're both going to be negative.
If it was a negative C, then the sign
Right.
would be like.
So like if I
Then
give
it'd
you
be like-
this, well, you're not going. Yeah, we'll worry about the negative C tomorrow. But you're right. You're right.
Yeah, if there's a negative
I
C,
like
there's going to be
negative
one number is
Cs.
going to be positive and one number is going to be
Hang on one second.
Gary. Come on.
Remember your
Okay. X squared minus 11x plus 30. All right, I can immediately, before I even figure out my factors, I can do this. And I know this is going to be this, and this is going to be this. What do I know about the signs right now?
that they are negative.
They are both negative, because that says they have to be the same. Both of them have to be either positive or both of them have to be negative. But that says they're both negative.
What if
'Cause
it's
that's the only
minus
way
30?
you're getting negative. Negative, negative.
What if it was x squared minus 11x minus 30?
That's a different problem.
Yeah, then
There's none of those
one-
We'll get to that tonight. We'll get that tomorrow.
Oh, wait,
I'm just doing one group at a time.
Wait.
Wait, somebody different, because you've been. Okay, Calla.
Negative 6 and negative 5.
All right, let's see. Negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30. Negative 6 plus negative 5 is negative. There you go.
That's what I was going to say.
Awesome. Good job. You guys have this down. You have this down. So fist to 5. I just want to know how you guys are feeling about this.
Oh, and I'm off.
It's really not rocket science. It just, you got to do it a bunch of times to get used to it. All right, so let's do another one. How about x squared
Can I do this one?
plus 14x plus 48.
Okay, can I do it? I know it.
All right, so somebody, yes, Liam.
Okay, 2. Okay, 1 second.
So let's look at the factors. Let's just think about it.
Yeah.
So 48. See, because this is my exam. This is an example. There's a lot of factors at 48, right? There's 1 times 48, but that's not going to work. That's not right. That tells me they're going to have to be both negative, right?
No, no, you're doing the wrong one.
But I could do 2 times 24,
8
right?
times 5.
Negative.
8 times
Or I could
6.
do
8 times 6.
6 times 8,
No,
right?
wrong problem.
8 times 6.
Oh yeah, that would work. And then 8 plus 7.
What am I doing?
You're doing
Yeah, that works.
11x instead of 14x.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you're right. Oh, right. Thank you. I see what you're
welcome.
They're not going to be negative. Sorry.
You're welcome.
You're right. I was doing this one. I'm going to get rid of that so I don't look at that again. All right. So, yeah. So 2 times 24 or
6 times 8.
or 6 times 8. 12 times 4. Right?
16 times.
I
did 12 times 4 because this is 100.
Oh, it's 48. Oh.
Right. Except that what's 12 plus 4?
16. Oh.
It doesn't equal
So it
that.
has to
So
be 6 times 8.
they have to be 6 times 8 because 6 times 8 is 48. 6 plus 8 is 14. So immediately we know it's x plus 6, x plus 8. Or if you feel like it, if you're feeling more 8 driven to that, on a particular, you can do x plus 8 times x plus 6, right? If you like 8's better, or 6 is better, it's like okay. Either way is fine, right? Either way. All right, how about this one? X squared
3 times 16.
minus 24x plus 144. Ray, don't shout it out. Raise your hand if you know. Elizabeth, what do you think?
12 and 12. Because 12, well, negative 12 and negative 12.
Yes, x minus 12 times x minus 12. Right? They're both the same sign. That's the plus sign. They're both the same sign. They could be both pluses or both minuses, but that says they're both minuses.
Yeah, you don't even have to think about minuses. You can just do the factors and then see if there's a negative sign in front.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
B and then just put it.
Exactly. Okay, how about this one? Let me think. X squared minus 17x plus 70. Tiana.
X minus 7 times x minus. Yes.
Bullseye. Good job. Because negative 7 times negative 10 is positive 70. Negative 7 plus negative 10 is negative 17. You guys rock. Absolutely rock. So I'm going to hand out the homework and you guys can get started.
Yay!
How many problems is it?
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
21 problems.
But some of them are foil.
Oh, that's easy.
All right, here you go, buddy.
Wait, some of them are just like regular foil? So some of them are just regular foil?
Yeah, on the back I have a few foils.
Where's the board? Who's reindeer Right?
better breathe
Got it,
tomorrow.
That's your name?
Yes.
Yeah, you just keep testing.
The date is Leo. It's the 27th.
I did 10
Oh, shoot, did I stop this?